Learning new information this morning about President Biden's phone call with Vladimir Putin about escalating tensions along the Ukrainian border. Biden warned the Russian president about possible sanctions. Now, this is the second time in a month the two presidents have talked about this. Joe Khalil is live in Washington, D.C. with more on the nearly hour-long call. And, Joe, this is a relationship that so many here in America watch, that relationship between America and Russia.
Yeah, it's a tenuous one. And, we saw that, I think, play out in that 50-minute call that President Putin and President Biden had yesterday. Both sides characterized the call as serious. The U.S., the White House saying that it was substantive and serious, and that both leaders really reiterated their positions. We heard that President Biden said again to Russia that they've got two options. One is de-escalation, and the other, if there is an invasion in Ukraine, would mean that the U.S. would levy crippling sanctions on Russia's economy. That President Biden really reiterated that. Now, we also got a tidbit from Interfacts, this international news agency that quoted Russia's foreign minister, and he says that Vladimir Putin made clear to the U.S. that if they were to levy sanctions that hurt Russia's economy, that would be a total rupture in the relationship between Moscow and Washington. So that was a little tidbit there of news. Other than that, we didn't really get a clear sign as to what President Putin's intentions are at this point, what his next move is going to be. And the White House even acknowledged that, saying that they didn't get a clear read on that and that they don't want to speculate. Both sides also said that this sort of lays the groundwork for January 10th. At that point in Geneva, both sides are set to meet for more bilateral talks on a number of different issues, this obviously being at the forefront. Russia is going to be speaking with NATO nations just a couple of days later. But remember, the situation is still tenuous. And at this point, as we speak, Aaron, there are still some 90,000 Russian troops lined up on the border with Ukraine right now. That much has not changed. And again, we didn't get an indication from President Putin as to whether or not he is going to pull those troops back.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.